Okay, so I'm gonna make a video about reviewing Death Notes. I just bought these a couple weeks ago. I've got 1 and 3 because the store didn't have 2. And anyway, I haven't read 3 yet, but I have reread number 1, and this is, I guess, one of my favorite anime that actually has a really good plot, and it's really dark. If you don't know shit about Death Note, go and like watch some of the anime or find some of the manga online or something, because this video is going to have a lot of spoilers. Um, so yeah, don't watch this video if you don't know shit about Death Note. Okay, so Death Note is about Light Yagami, who is 17 in the beginning, and I guess is a senior in school or something. Um, I was homeschooled, so I know shit about this stuff. And the Shinigami, Ryuk, um, and they're bored. And you know what? Teenagers get bored and they kill people, I guess. Um, I'm kidding. That was a joke. Okay. And anyway, so Ryuk drops a book called The Death Note into the human world, and Light picks it up. And Light at first thinks it's a really huge joke, blah blah blah. He tests it out, and then he finds out, oh hey shit, these people actually die. This could be useful. And a month later, Ryuk finds them. Um, Basically, because somewhere in the rules it says within 30 something odd days the root that the Shinigami that the notebook had belonged to, or that he is connected with, he'll haunt you. But it says possession, and that's like the really weird translation thing that I don't get. Is like, why is it possession when technically it's haunting? Because possession is when a spirit takes over a human's body. You know, like in The Exorcist. Haunting is where a spirit is haunting wherever you are. So yeah, it's one of those really weird shit narration stuff that goes on. Okay, so yeah, and then Light kills a bunch of people, and the police, Interpol, finds out about it, and then, well, for this whole friggin' month, Elle's been investigating, and so then Interpol and Elle get together, and they do stuff. I'm not really going to go, like, story by story like I did in Full Metal Alchemist. Basically, I'm just going to cover all of it because I've seen all of the anime, and, and I know stuff. So, the thing about Death Note is, like, it's all a question about morale. You know, should you kill somebody who's raped and murdered people, or should you not? You know, it's like we all know that that revenge is the dish best served cold. That it doesn't really help you. We all know that you shouldn't take justice into your own hands and kill people because they wronged you. You know, stuff like that. And like, it's one of those things. It's kind of like the same question that the anime or Hell Girl has. It's like, is it right to send people to hell? You know, and then and that anime starts off with people, like actual people who have done really horrible things, and they're horrible people, and yeah, maybe they do deserve to go to hell. And then it goes on, and like a nurse who's innocent, who did absolutely nothing to this guy who's just fucking crazy. He sent her to hell, then he killed himself to go to hell too, so that he could like be with her or something. You know, okay. So, anyway, never mind it. That has nothing to do with Death Note except for the morality question. Should you write down a name in your Death Note, or should you not? Should you get rid of the Death Note? Should you keep it? Should you be the god of the new world like Light wants to be? You know, and the funny thing about it is like, the Japanese people see death differently, like really, really differently. They're not like Americanized, where you know, like, okay, yeah, people die, but if the guy well, it's just different. I don't understand this. Why is it different? It just is. It's just different. Okay, and what I like about Death Note is that we know who the bad guy is, and that's Light, and we know who the good guy is, and that's L, and they're having this epic fight. And the whole thing is just their game between each other. Like, what is L going to do versus what Light is going to do, and then it just gets fucked up near the end. It's like the end where Matt and Mello come into it kind of pisses me off because they're not smart like L. It's like L dies halfway through the anime manga, whatever. Then you have Nier, Mello, and Matt, and they do fuck on screen. And Nier, and Nier doesn't even win. No, Matsuda shoots L. I mean, Light. And sorry, in the end, Matsuda shoots Light. That's a horrible ending. I'm sorry. I always hated that Light died, and I always hated that L died, and I could never figure out what side I was on. I mean, okay, I like Light because yeah, he's kind of right. I mean, really, some dude tries to rape you, and the police can't do shit about it because it's like really hard to. And I was like, oh hey, I have a death note, and if I know this guy's name, I'll just write his name down and the way I want him to die, and he'll have a horrible death because he raped me or tried to rape me. And I was like, okay, who doesn't want to do that? And who wouldn't do it? I mean, so you go to like that Ukraine place between heaven and hell, so what, big deal? You got your revenge, right? And so it just brings up like a lot of moral questions that we don't think about every day. I mean, like, you know, I mean, people do horrible, bad stuff all the time, but and they get away with it, and so you know, then all of a sudden some dude is there and he's killing people left, right, and center, but they're all criminals, and they've all done something or probably did something. I mean, I don't know how Light figures this shit out. I mean, if a criminal has been judged innocent, does he not kill them, or does he look at the evidence of the file and says, oh yeah, you did it, the system is just corrupt and they didn't think you did, so you're not innocent, you're evil, and I'm going to judge you and write your name down. I don't know, it's just really creepy, but I like that creepiness. And you know what? Death Note has had a really, not a big impact on society, but, you know, kids have been thrown out of school because they had a Death Note and they wrote kids' names down in it, just like in the anime, and I guess it's illegal in China, but, oh, come on, China's communist! Of course I don't give a shit about freedom of expression. I mean, this is just a story. It's not real. That's the thing that people don't understand. I mean, yeah, I would like to have a death note, but I'm not going to write people's names on it. I'm not fucking crazy, you know what I mean? It's just, nah. It's for cosplay. You know, it's like, how can you cosplay Light without the death note? Or an apple, or Misa without those goddamn pigtails. Oh, don't get me started on fucking Misa. I mean, I hated her. Hated her. Okay? Because she's such a friggin' Mary Sue. She's like, oh, I love you because you're Kira, blah, blah, blah. I don't like you because you're Light Yagami and you're a person, blah, blah, blah. And Kira's just like your alter ego killy serial killer name. Honestly, woman. Not to mention, like, she dresses like such a whore. Ugh. Because in Japanese society, this is modest in Japanese society. I can have my skirt up to my privates and no one would give a shit, but if I show like any boob or anything, they're like, oh my god, you're immodest. I don't know, I don't get this. okay, so I'm obviously exaggerating. What do I know? I'm just an anime fan. You know what I mean? Okay, so I just and L is like that really. He's like Sherlock Holmes, except more of a sugar fiend, and he sits weird, but and he plays the games. He's kind of like a mixture between Sherlock and Moriarty, because he doesn't give a shit what he does, because he doesn't care that he actually does have to have a court order to put listening devices and cameras in people's houses in Japan. He does that, and he doesn't really give a shit what legal rights he is trampling all on. I mean, okay, we understand that. I understand he was trying to catch a serial killer here, but at the same time, people have rights, and half these people he was investigating weren't Kira. You know, like this entire time he's been watching people that weren't Kira. Oh my God, wouldn't that? I don't know. And and so yeah, he is very uh and I like him. I mean, I like L like I like Light, and so it's just one of those real weird things where I couldn't figure out whose side was I on. Because on one hand, I thought Light was kind of right. I mean, and who would? I mean, that's the basic human emotion. I mean, if somebody does shit to you, you want to get them back, and you want to get them back good, and death is a good way of getting back at somebody. And then you've got L, who's all like, I'm justice and blah, and you're gonna go through the system and blah blah blah, and you know that's just as good for some people too. You know, it's like catch the bad guy, put him through the system, and judge him and send him to jail and death row. And nowadays, most states don't even have that. Texas does, and they use it. Thank you, Ron Wright, for that one. Credit goes to Ron Wright for that one. Yeah, Texas. I don't think Texas is as cool as my state, but yeah, whatever. I still think Texas is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, that's basically the thing of Death Note. And it's like we know basically what the ending's gonna be. Light's gonna lose because he's a bad guy, and bad guys lose. You know, it's like, oh no, we couldn't make it interesting and make it that Light actually wins and actually like rules the world in his Kira Persona E-ish way. It's like, because that was the ending I was hoping for. Because I wanted, like, Nier to die, and Matt to die, and Mello to die, because, well, I'm sorry, just, they were lame on screen. I thought they were, I was like, no, let Light win, and be awesome and shit. And then I discovered fan fiction, and I discovered Maru and, oh, man, how is it? Okay, I discovered the Redeemer series. Oh my God, this fanfic fixes everything that's wrong with Death Note. Basically, L's death and Light's death and all that shit, and it's like this incredible thing of awesomeness that is just, oh my God, Redeemer series by Maru and, what is her other name? Oh my gosh. And they also do this awesome cosplay. I'm sorry, all you Death Note fans know exactly who I'm talking about, because who can, like, miss Maru and her friend, partner, person. And oh my God. And yeah, okay, so they have this story that's all about their OCs, but fuck if it's not good. And I mean, these are good writers. I mean, these guys actually spend time, and oh my God, it's just awesome. And if they ever wrote an original story and published it, I would fucking buy it and read the shit out of that book, because they're awesome. Just the way they fix Death Note for me, that's the Redeemer series is the only Death Note fan fiction that I read, because it fixes everything, and I just I love it so goddamn much. It's my headcanon, you know what I mean? So yeah, Death Note is awesome. As like, it's really dark, and the supernatural is like really good, and it's really interesting. It's a good read. And you know, if your family's overly religious, don't show it to them, because when I told my mom that I was into Death Note, I told her it was about a serial killer and left all the Shinigami Death Note shit out of it because yeah. Shinigami, gods of death, reapers, what's the difference? You know what I mean? It's like one of those things, I guess. So yeah, okay, so this is my Death Note video, and I don't know if I'll make another one. Probably not. I mean, I didn't even go through the beginning. I mean, it's just Light figuring out what the Death Note is and talking to Ryuk, and then you have L, and he calls in the FBI, and you got Ray Penbar, and God, was I sorry that he died. I mean, okay, Kira, I know you, I understand this, but sometimes gratuitous killing doesn't help jack shit. And if your Emma was just killing criminals, let the dumbass FBI dude just trail you for a day. He'll go away eventually. I mean, I'm sorry. That's one thing I thought was gratuitous death. Yeah, that's like the only problem in here besides Misa is gratuitous death. Which is really funny because I didn't like Misa, Nier. Well, I still don't like Nier. He's a dumbass. And Matt and Mello until I started reading the Redeemer series, and I didn't even like L up to that point. Like I don't know. And then I was reading the Redeemer series, and it was fixed, and I like them all now. Even Misa. I mean, if you want some good characterization of all of these characters, Google the Redeemer series by Maru Light and Anda-chan. That was it. Ah, God. Okay, finally. Got the goddamn names right. Look it up by that and read it. And you have to read it in order. Redeemer, To Be or Not to Be, Our Time is Running Out, Sins of the Father, I'm Not Okay, and then they're doing another one, Breaking Across Devotion. And the last two are about their OCs, but like their plots are really integral and into each other, so you can't read them like out of order or anything. You have to like read them all together. So it's like one of those really awesome things. It's so goddamn awesome. I swear to God, read the series. Oh, though I should say there's lots of gay sex in it and violence, and it gets pretty dark sometimes, but I mean, come on. Death Note is a really dark manga. I mean, there's not really a lot of happy fun times, you know what I mean? And but I mean, there are funny parts. Like Ryuk is technically like the comic relief, you know, or Matsuda. I don't know. I think Matsuda would make a better beat cop than an investigator, but that's just me. Um, so yeah, Death Note is awesome, and I love it, and I'm sorry, I'm a Light girl. I love Light. Even when I read the Redeemer series and I'm reading Matt and Mello and Elle and all those other people, I was like, where's Light? Where's Light? I want to know what Light's doing, because I love him so much. Even if he's being a complete and total jerk, I don't understand. He's a complete and total jerk even to Misa. And she, like, fucking goes for it. And I was like, dude, you know he's, like, abusive towards you. What the fuck? Okay, not that she could, like, leave. Well, okay. So, yeah, Light did have to get rid of her Shinigami. But, I mean, you could have killed her after that. I mean, if you really don't like her, you could have just wrote her name down and oh, God, Nisa, Kira doesn't like you anymore. Fuck you. You know? Okay, maybe not at that time, just later on when Elle wasn't, like, out of sight all the time, and whatever. Fuck it. I'm done. I'm done, because Death Note doesn't make sense on some levels. It just gotta roll with it, because you know what? If I were Kira, I would have gotten rid of Nisa so goddamn fast. It wouldn't, because she's, I don't know. I just don't like her in the anime. She's such a goddamn fucking Mary Sue. Okay, and okay, she's not even in the Redeemer series until like somewhere in halfway through the first story, Redeemer. But she's goddamn fucking crazy. And but it all makes sense why she's crazy, and the craziness gives her character. You know, it's like my annoyance of her in the anime was fixed by this fanfic. I don't understand this at all. Okay, so I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop because, oh my god, Death Note. Death Note is awesome. So go check it out. Go read these fanfics. Just Google it. I don't have time because I'm a dumbass. And so yeah, Death Note. Fucking Death Note, man.